Hi everyone, I'm Becky,
And I'm Sarah.
and we're doing Bickering Book Reviews. Today we're talking about Bookish and the Beast by Ashely Poston, which is book 3 of the Once Upon a Con series, which I believe I got off of NetGalley.
Yes, I
Yeah.
did too. I'm
Um,
having trouble remembering,
yeah.
but yeah, it's not Galley.
So this is the third book after Geekerella and the Princess and what was the second one called? The Princess and the Con, maybe? The
Oh,
Princess and the Fangirl is what the second one was called.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, wait, which fairy tale was it?
It was the Princess and the Prince and the Pauper. And
Yeah.
so that's what this is. These are a retelling of fairy tales, and this time we are visiting Beauty and the Beast. And our beauty is named Rose. I wasn't ever sure. Is she actually Rosebud? Is like that her like legal name?
That's what her dad calls her. I don't know if it's just like a nickname or what.
I was trying to figure that out. So this is about Rosie, who is a high school senior. And a few months before the story takes place, she had been at Excelsior Con, which is like this huge convention devoted to Starfleet. That's not what it's called. Yes, it's Starfleet, right?
Yeah.
Starfield. It's Starfield, sorry.
Oh, Starfield. Yeah.
It's
It's
Starfield,
RF.
which is from the book Geekerella. And Rosie like leaves her friends and she's trying to go back to her hotel room and she runs into this guy who is dressed up like General Sod, who's like the bad guy in Starfield. And they like have this total before sunrise moment, like where they spend the night walking around the city and talking and eating pancakes, but they're always wearing a mask and they never tell each other their real names. So it bounces ahead, and Rosie is like kind of still in love with this guy, and she's trying to kind of like figure out where she wants to go next in her life. And she gets fired from her job at the grocery store because she's watching the trailer for the new Starfield movie. And she's going home from work, and like this huge dog runs out in front of her car, and she stops and tries to save the dog. And she's following the dog into this big house that looks like a castle, and she finds this library filled with these books, and one of them is a Starfield book that had been her mother had and meant a lot to her. And then this guy appears and shows up and like scares her, so she tries to run away, and she falls into the pool and ruins the book. And it turns out, because it's a rom-com, that the guy was actually the 18-year-old or 17-year-old star of Starfield who plays General Sod, and they
Wow.
both Sod.
It's Sond, right? Sond.
Sond? Sond? I don't know. I'm not good with that. So basically, they both are stuck working together to try to fix this library because this book that Rosie ruined is worth $1,500. And so she's working it off. And Vance, who is the star actor, has done some bad things. And he's in hiding and trying to save his career. And this is his punishment, is to help her. And obviously, there are emotions. And they might have a connection that they don't know about.
I mean, it was funny. It was cute. It was a rom com. I think for me, this was my favorite of the three books. I know you really like Geekerella.
I really like Geekerella. But I enjoyed this because, like, I was kind of like, I was reading it and I'm like, I don't like it as much as Geekerella, but you know, I was sucked in. I liked their voice. And when, like, the romance stuff starts to happen, I was just, like, happy. I was just enjoying reading it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. I think the only thing that it's it's not even missing it. Like it works. It works really well. But if you're expecting to see Khan, it doesn't really happen in this
Yeah,
book.
so the second book takes place entirely at the con. Like, that's the story. And then
Right.
the first book, like, the con is the ball for Cinderella. I don't know. I like how she I feel she very respectfully deals with fandoms.
Yeah.
Because sometimes these fandom books, you feel like you're poking fun at people. And as somebody who, like, grew up with a Trekkie, he says he's not a Trekkie, but I understand, like, it's a delicate thing, and you have to be respectful. And I don't see why that's, like, weird to be, like, if you're into Star Trek versus caring about, like, a football team. I don't see whatever.
Well, I think also part of it is throughout there were like winks and nods to different Beauty and the Beast retail, or like very retells versions. Like for example, the one at one point she says, "I need to screw my courage to the sticking post," which is a line from one of the songs in Disney's Beauty and the Beast. So I think that kind of it is.
It's also a line from a Hamilton song.
Right, but it's the song. It's in the song. Like, yeah, it's a saying, but it's in the song where they're going. Where Gaston is going to storm Beast Castle, which kind of fits.
Which is like my favorite song in this movie, but I don't remember that. No, because when I read it, I just assumed it was a Hamilton reference.
Oh yeah, no, it's a Beauty and the Beast reference. And there were a couple of those, and I think that kind of goes hand in hand with being respectful of the fandoms to like have those nods, but like to put those in there, but not in a way that's like making fun of it, especially because I feel like Disney fandom people get like pooped on.
I just feel like anybody who's like a passionate fandom, there's always like some people making fun of them, and I'm always thinking, who's the biggest loser? The person who's really into Star Wars, or the person making fun of the person who's really into Star Wars?
Yeah.
As a person who's really into Star Wars. I also know the only thing is, like, they keep referencing Vance being in the second book, and I don't remember him in the second book.
I don't either, but he couldn't have been there for very long.
No. Well, like I was saying, like, I'm assuming, like, he's supposed to be the character of Khan from Star Trek. So he's, like, the bad guy. But I don't remember him. I kind of want to go back and reread them all. I'd actually like to listen to all the audiobooks.
That would be fun. I wonder, they talked about, I think he was the bratty guy that Imogen went on a date with him as Jessica, her alter ego. Like, it's a really vain guy.
It did reference something like that.
She kind of talks about that.
I just don't remember it. But that was like a year and a half ago.
But yeah, I just don't. I don't fully remember the whole sequence of that terrible date. I know that there was a terrible date. I just don't remember it. Everyone just kind of getting meta right here. Like, we are on Zoom, still socially distancing, and internet sometimes is not great. So we've been like freezing throughout, and just those interruptions have really made it very difficult to figure out what our train of thought is. But I feel like that is very representative of what it feels like to be back, to like getting back into
just
the real world.
Right. And I'm thinking, like, I'm trying to think of what else I wanted. So the thing about, like, I really enjoy the voice that she tells these stories in, and I appreciate that since it was dual narrator, where Vance is English, that makes it a little easier. Definitely two very distinct voices. Mm-hmm. And you don't usually get that. I just enjoy it. It's just like a bowl of ice cream in a book.
It is. It's funny. It's fun. I mean, it doesn't take any effort, I think.
And the romances are cute. Like,
they are.
And I feel like I'm talking about all of the books, even though I know I've done blog posts for like all the other books. When they actually get together, you're like, oh, yeah, it's nice.
Well, and the other thing is, like, I don't necessarily think that I'd want to see the books be turned into movies, but I think getting a show of Starfield, that would be so meta and very interesting. Like, I think that would be.
I would love a show about the actors making Starfield.
That would be so cool.
I would love that. Because you could do that. You could basically, it would be the movie. It would be like the characters.
You wouldn't even have to do that. You could start with Natalia. Go start with the other person who was supposed to play the main character, Princess Amara, and then go into like how Natalia gets the job eventually. Like, I think that would be really interesting. Like, start at the very beginning, and then you could set it like, because it started in the 70s.
I would assume it was like, with Star Trek.
You could have like a historical drama or drama comedy or whatever, that would be so cool.
See, and like I said, I just like these characters so much. I would be happily, and I would keep reading. I don't know. It kind of looks like this might be the last one.
I would keep reading too, but I think this also kind of like hits on something that I've started to feel more so recently within the YA world is like sometimes I just want a book to stand on its own and just to get it all done in one book and just be done. Like everything's a series nowadays, and like sometimes it's just like it's just too much work. Like get it all, like get what you need to say done in one book. And I'm not saying that for everything, but like come on.
But like with this, I'm okay with it because
Oh yeah, this
I
one's
feel
good.
like she's so like very carefully. Like you didn't need to read the other books,
No,
particularly with this one,
and they're so distinct that they
right?
do feel like standalones.
But I
So I
will
just
admit, like I just listened to the last book in the Shatter Me Tahara Mafi series, and I remember reading that first book, and I was like so into it. But it's been like 9 years, and I'm trying to like remember, and I know I should go back and redo them all, and I'm like, I don't got no time for that.
right.
Unless the publishers stop publishing for 2 years, there's no me going back and reading stuff.
It's true.
So
It's
we
true.
should.
And I feel like when I was growing up though, like back when I like was a teen while I was reading it, like a lot of these books weren't series books. And like they hadn't been turned into series books for a while. So I think it's definitely just an interesting trend that's started to happen.
I remember reading somewhere that the third book is where they start making their money back. Like the third book is where you get the big profit. And like Twilight was supposed to end at Eclipse, but they made so much money they did Breaking Dawn as an extra, and that's why they had tried when Mockingjay came out. They wanted a fourth book, and Suzanne Collins said no. Kind of wish she had stuck with that. But that's like it's that last book, like the third book is the big hit, which is why so many books are trilogies.
Okay. I mean I get why they do it. I just sometimes I just wish that
Well, no,
like
like, and sometimes
they
books, and I feel like realistic fiction are more individuals, whereas science fiction fantasy are more the series.
It's true. All right. Now that we've gone off on that tangent, is there anything else you wanted to say about this?
No, let's just rate it. Our rating system starts at the top with 5 unicorns, but at 2 unicorns. If we don't like it, it's a horse.
I think I'm at 4 unicorns in a spaceship.
I'm at 4. I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. Like I said, I think I enjoyed the Star Trek trickiness of it a little bit more because of the fact that I know a lot about Star Trek. But yeah, and I would keep reading. I've read her fantasy and I've read her realistic fiction, and I really like her realistic fiction.
I hope somebody that can turn the TV show, crank out the TV show that we've come up with on here happens. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. So we will see you around.
All right, bye.
Bye.